How you doing today?
I'm good, good, good. How you doing, love?
Oh, I'm doing great, y'all. So, welcome to the Slapping with Truth podcast. Today, we have on here Mr. Stokes. So, he is an author, he is an inspirator, and boy, does he have a story for y'all today. So, before we move any further, I'm going to let him introduce himself and just give y'all a little background about what he do. So, Mr. Stokes, just go ahead on and introduce yourself and let them know a little about yourself.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Queen. It's an honor to be here. My name is Joe Stokes. I am the author and speaker from the quantum side. My book, The Quantum Side of Addiction, is a book that I wrote about 2 years ago, 2022. I was going through a rough time, but we'll get into that later. So since then, I've been speaking and sharing my book and my quantum side beliefs all up and down the East Coast from New York to Baltimore. I'm currently in New York right now. So yeah, that's what I do. I just help people fully recover. And right now, my main focus is on helping people recover from addiction. So I mainly speak at recovery programs and like for mental health facilities. That's what I do right now.
Oh, so I just want to say thank you for one because we need that. We need that out here in the world, right? So
Yes, yes,
your book, the quantum side of things. So
yes.
right, has but you have other books. We're gonna get into that as well, right?
Okay,
So
yes,
let's
yes.
just talk about this book before we get a little bit further. So can you give us like a little bit of like just a little snippet of what it's about? So give us like an
Okay,
overview of what the quantum side is about.
yes, absolutely. I'll read the book, The Quantum Side of Addiction. If you read the subtitle, it says, Unlock and take back the most powerful tool you have, your mind, the CPU of the gods. The Quantum Side of Addiction is a book dedicated to unlock the inner God in us all, not just those with past habits of addiction. No longer do we identify with the horror stories of the past and are redefined by vivid visions of the present future, restructuring our thinking and raising our vibrations to match those of love and abundance and our true heart's desires. Learning to work with the natural universal laws given to us, we begin self mastery and true enlightenment. This is my
Oh,
book, and it's really, I sum it up like this. I wrote it to for all those who are looking to create a successful environment for the mind, body, and spirit. And I break down each element in the book, the mind, how to properly meditate and focus, the body, proper diet and exercise, and the soul, proper meditation and spiritual enlightenment.
oh, I love that. That's a whole lot right there.
It
So
is, it is.
before you started writing the book, so what kind of like inspired you to even write that kind of book?
Um, well, I'm it's sad to say I am a product of the environment, a,
Mm.
a product of my environment from Baltimore City, the inner west side, northwest side of Baltimore. And I fell subject to crime and violence, like many of our young black men do, when and men and women. But I fell subject to it, and I wrote the book in my fifth recovery program.
Mm.
And this time ago around, something was different. I when I sat in the group and the typical Narcotics Anonymous NAAA approach, it just wasn't sitting right with me this time, you know. I wasn't about to sit down every day and say, "Hi, my name is Joe and I'm an addict." I wasn't about to do
Right.
that this time because something didn't sit right with me this time about me saying that over and over and over again. And I didn't want to hear anybody else's long, drawn out, half truth, half fairy tale stories about how high they got and all the people they let down and all the money they lost and so forth and blah blah blah. It was just lowering my vibrations, and I felt it for the first time physically. I felt like this is really bringing me down.
Mm.
So instead of going on somebody else's platform and speaking out and causing havoc, because it was really crazy. I remember one specific day, the instructor, he put on a TED talk. If those of you who are not familiar with TED talk, they're people who get on stage and they tell their story. And he put
Mm-hmm.
on this one particular TED talk, and he started off like the typical horror story. How many times he drug overdosed, and how much money he lost, and all the family he let down, and the list goes on. It was just one sob story after another. And I was like, no, I was like, excuse me, no, I don't want to hear this, please. I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't want to hear. I know that, because this is my story. This is everybody's stories in here. We know these stories.
Right,
You
right,
know, we know these stories all too well. We need a new story to know, you know?
right.
And so I went back to my room and I had an epiphany. Something
Mm,
came over me and said, you know what? Do your own research on how to become a different person. Not not just a better person, but a different person, because the person I had become couldn't get the job done. And this
mm.
was my fifth go around. I was like, all right, this time some things have to change. So I began to do research, and I started the easy way. I just Googled how to become a different person, and
Right, right, right.
I just Googled it. Because my
And that's
mom was
all of
like,
our best friends. That's Google is our best friend, right? So,
absolutely right. So when I Googled it, the first thing that came up was how to transform your body on a cellular level. And I
mm,
was like, okay. And I began to look into what that means and what that meant. We're made up of about maybe 70 trillion cells, right?
mhm,
About maybe 2 million to 5 million cells die off every day and are reborn. So I began to look in, how are they reborn? And before I get to that, I realized that if all my cells die off during um a gradual period of time, I'm pretty much reborn into a new person. I think all you are really reborn into a new person like every year almost, based
mm,
on your cells, how they reproduce.
mm,
So I began to look into that because that captivated me. And I found out that in order for me to really make my cells different from what they were before, so I can really put myself together piece by piece, I had to transform the way I was thinking,
mm,
because your cells are made up of the things you eat,
right,
your diet,
mm,
your habits, but mainly your mind frame, how you think.
mhm,
And I said, that's it. That is
mm,
it. So I start taking notes. I start taking notes. And I found out how to change my diet. So the first thing that I took out of my diet was sugar,
mm,
refined sugar. And I replaced it later on with natural honey, which I still do to this day. Because honey, I believe, is very important.
mm,
But I completely eliminated all sweeteners, all sugars, and so forth. Then I stopped eating red meat. I had already stopped eating pork and all that type of stuff. I did that years ago. But I cut out the red meat. I began to do some further investigating, constantly looking, constantly investigating, and I found out that chickens pretty much eat the same thing as pigs do. So my mom was like, "Well, if chickens pretty much eat the same thing as pigs do, what?" So I cut out the chicken. Then I cut out the fish. That would that one really got to me because I'm from Baltimore. It's like a seafood capital, crab cakes and
Oh, okay.
shrimp and I remember once upon a time I would go to the oyster bar and I would do shots of stolies and raw oysters and clams and all night long. So
Wow.
I eliminated that.
Mhm.
After I eliminated that, I began to replace it with fruit. I just went on
Mm.
a fruit diet. I don't know why my mom was telling me just eat fruits and watermelon, just eat watermelon.
Mhm.
And it was a good
Right,
time of the year because it was in the summertime and the all the melons were in harvest and everything. So I had no problem finding the watermelon with the seeds. That's
right.
important. Watermelon with the seeds. And then something I be I came across a guy by the name of Yaki Awakening. I'm sure you heard of him.
That's one of my favorites. Shout
Yeah.
out to Yaki.
Shout out to Yaki. And he said something that was really profound. He said, "We are electrical beings. Our brain," and I learned this from Dr. Sebi. He said, "Our brains are like made up of like copper.
Right,
And copper is like one of the most electrical things that, you know, sparks you and and so forth." So Yaki Awakening said, "We need foods that are electrical."
mm,
And I was like, foods that are electrical. And he said, "That's mainly your fruits." And he said, "Meat has no life in it." And that really hit me. I was like, meat, I was he right. Meat has no life in it. That's why when you eat it, it rots in your body and it stinks you up from the inside.
right,
So I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. And if you eat fruits that are electrical and your brain is made of copper, that's gonna keep you sharp and on your toes. And
right,
so
right.
I went on
So
a strictly go ahead.
no, that's okay because I want to get into that, but I'm gonna
Okay.
back you up a little bit. So just before we get into the good, the juicy stuff about that, I want to ask you, what are some things that you feel like that you're most grateful for to have escaped thanks to the way you have changed your mindset?
You mean besides the drugs and the crime and the violence? You mean besides that?
Yeah. Like far as mindset wise,
Oh, as far as mindset wise, oh my goodness, man.
what's some of the things that you would say that you were thankful that due to some of the things you was talking about, what mindset has it helped you overcome?
My
Like where are you
mindset. Oh my God. My mindset. I used to be an angry person. I used to be an angry person. I did. I was I was like I thought that was the cool thing to be, to walk around with your mug broke, and if somebody say something out of line to you, you rectify it right then and there. You know you wore your emotions on your sleeve. You always spoke your mind. You never hold your tongue. You I thought that was cool, and I thought it was cool because it was the easiest thing to give into. I didn't know
mm,
how to hold my tongue. I didn't know how to be at peace with myself. So it was
mm,
easy for me to blurt out. It was easy for me to act out in anger.
mm.
And based on the foods that I ate, I developed I took on some of the hormones from the animals.
Ooh, ooh.
So
Ah,
yeah, yep. I
no,
took on
no.
some of the hormones.
I'm glad you said that, because that's important, because a lot of people don't understand that the stuff we eat, they forget. Like if the animal has a disease, if the animal's been angry, if or whatever, you're gonna ingest whatever that animal has, so whatever endorphins that animal has built up, you're gonna eat that. So I'm
Yep.
glad you said that, but continue. So when you said that, I just like, I don't think people understand how they really are what they eat. Like that saying is so true.
Yep. Yep. You are what you eat. So, and I started noticing I was changing because through meditation, I could analyze my thoughts different. And exercise, the meditation and the exercise played a big part of it, because the exercise allowed me to relieve stress. And that's like a must. You have to exercise every day for, number one, to get your blood circulating and get oxygen to your brain, because your brain survives and thrives off oxygen. And if you don't know it, it's very important that you develop breath work. Like, you heard people say, just breathe, relax and breathe. That is more to it than that. Trust what I'm telling you, man.
Yes,
Trust
yes.
what I'm telling
And
you,
don't
man.
forget, when you breathe in, you gotta pause, because it's called diaphragm breathing.
Oh
So
my
when
goodness.
you gotta breathe in through your nose, you hold it, and then you exhale through your mouth, and then you pause as well afterwards. So I'm right on. I'm right on. But how often would you say that it's important for the people to meditate, or how often do you meditate?
I try to meditate as often as possible. I had got into a habit. Well, I'm pretty much in a habit where I meditate while I'm driving. I don't want to say that too loud, but I put on that music and I get my mind in a state where, as though I am activating my reticular activating system. It's called the RAS. So that way I can filter out all the nonsense and everything that's not relevant to what my big picture is. But for beginners, I would say it would be very important and essential for you to meditate in the morning when you wake up, and at night before you go to bed. This is important because at that stage, you have entered the theta stage, I believe it's called, where it's like almost hypnosis, where you're trying to program your brain to slide in through and get into your subconscious, because your subconscious is what puts you on like an autopilot. And if you don't know it, you're already on an autopilot now, based on your subconscious. How I call it the subconscious drip. I talked about that in my last book called Your Scars Make Stripes. The subconscious drip comes from things you do in your regular conscious, doing out the your the course of your day, and certain instances that affect you emotionally, whether you're angry or sad. It drips down to your subconscious and it becomes fact. Okay, I don't like this person, and I'm not going to like anybody who is similar to this person based on how this person has made me feel, because your emotions register in your subconscious and they either make you better or they make you worse. So you have to get control of your emotions first, so you can learn how to program your subconscious in the slit in those small windows of time. Because if you get on top of that, you'll be on autopilot. You don't know how life keeps repeating itself. You'll be stuck in a cycle and you don't know how you're stuck in a cycle. So in order for you to break that cycle, you have to do things like positive affirmations and repeat things that are uplifting to you, and reprogram your brain and your mind to think the way that you really want to think instead of letting it run and drift off. Because if you let your mind drift off, trust me, you'll end up nowhere. You have to know where you're going and constantly say to yourself, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here. In ways you could make up your own repetition of how you want to, something on replay in your mind. But you have to have something on replay in your mind to get you to a destination, or you'll listen to somebody, you'll listen to some music, or you'll get angry and you'll drift back and forth and you'll end up nowhere. And you'll say
Mm.
to yourself, how the hell did I get here? I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to work out. I wanted to focus. I wanted to get things accomplished, but I can't seem to do it because you're letting inside influences program you. And
Mm.
your brain is like a knot that's tightly fused based on neural pathways and synapses that has formed you from the time that you were born.
Mm.
And like it or not, some of those fused knots, some of those synapses, some of those habits have developed your personality, your characteristics. And if they're not working for you, you need to reprogram and diffuse your knot. And through
Mm.
meditation, it, it's not hard. I'm still working on it every day. But you got to
Yeah.
learn how to focus on at least two words. My two words in the beginning was love and abundance. I would just close my eyes and I would say love and abundance, 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 until my thoughts reproduced lovely and abundant thoughts. And then
Right.
I would say, okay, I'm here. And then I would just drift off. I would drift off in my meditation in paradise.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So when you first figured that out, right? Because like you said, you used to be an angry person. You used to be angry and you had all these negative thoughts. So when you first did that, how did you first feel? Like when you first came into it, and you like, you know what, this is it. What was the mindset then? Like, because I mean, did you just wake up one day and you was like, you know what, I'm not angry no more? Or was it like a slow process? Or
It was
is
a
it like,
slow process.
okay, so
It
it's a
was a
slow
slow
process.
process. It was a slow
Okay.
process, but it was a process that I didn't realize happened. It was a process that I was like, oh,
That's
that
hey,
doesn't
that's
bother me no
important.
more.
That's important. I'm glad you said that because we don't even notice the little changes. We only notice the
Mhm.
big things when it happened, right? Like how you said you didn't even notice it happened until you like, hold up. It probably was something little you probably would have got mad about. You like, hold up, I didn't snap, or
Yup.
something like that. I'm just saying, but you know, and so because a lot of people think that you're gonna notice each and every small change, but like you just said, you didn't even notice you was changing.
No, because it's the small things that, let me tell you something. It's the small seeds that you plant in your mind and leave them alone. And as long as you have your main focus ahead of you and you're constantly trying to strive towards it, they're going to grow. They're going to grow. And what helped me notice it was I formed a new paradigm. And my paradigm was, you know what? Positive things happen when I smile. That was a small one. I was just like, you know what? Because I started to sell my book, I started to speak to people, and I don't know where I got it from really, but I said, you know what? All day I'm gonna keep a smile on my face and see what happens.
Right.
And I would just walk around like, and the things that I would attract would 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 open me up in conversation.
Mm.
And the conversation would always be enlightening. And when I left the conversation, I would really have a smile like, yo, I just grew from that. I was just grew from that. And
Mm.
I'd be thinking, yo, that smile really attracted the right people to me. And hello, duh, a frown is going to attract the wrong people from you, right or wrong, you know?
Right, right,
So
right. So true.
I I made it up in my mind. You know what? I'm gonna do my best to always have a smile on my face and think positive. And guess what? I can't expect everybody else to do it. I can't expect everybody else to do it. That's cool. That's fine. Because guess what? I don't know what everybody else is going through. It's hard out here for some people. It's hard out here for a lot of people. And I'm tired of putting myself in other people's shoes. I don't want your shoes. I understand your situation. I empathize with you. And if you listen to me, I got a word of advice for you that I can make you smile, maybe, or enlighten you with something. But if not, peace, brother. I love you, sister, and have a good day. When you're ready for me, come back. I'll be here, and I'll welcome you with open arms, and I'll keep going about my business. And it's as simple as that, because everything ain't for everybody.
Ooh, say that one again, boy. Everything is
Everything ain't for
not.
everybody.
It's not. A lot of
Yep,
people think that, like one, that's why you got what 50,000 different Nike stores. Even one Nike store might ain't gonna be the same as the other one you go to up the street, right? You might be like, I
that's
like this
right.
one better. They got better selection, right? Because
That's
everything
right.
ain't for everybody. It might be the
Yep,
same store, but that store is not for you. This one is more for me. I like this one, the one they got. You know what I mean? So I like
right.
that you said that because it's not. And just thinking about that, now let's go back to how you was talking about how important fruit is. So how important do you feel like fruit is when it comes to your attitude
Well, first and foremost,
or
fruit
your mindset? Let's say that.
fruit doesn't stay in the body and it doesn't rot in your system. It goes in, it does its job, and it gets out and it takes out everything that doesn't belong in with it. Because detox, detox is not a one-time thing. It's a every day along the way. When I wake up, before I go to bed, if you eat it, it should come out.
Mm,
It shouldn't stay in.
mm,
So I said to myself, you know what? Fruit will help clean me out. Fruit will help clean me out because the average person, when they die with at least 60 pounds of waste trapped in this their digestional tract.
wow. Are you serious?
Yeah,
I
so
never
that
knew
means
that.
the average person walking around has at least 60 pounds of waste trapped up in them, right? And that waste seeps into your bloodstream. And if your brain needs oxygen, the only way your brain gets oxygen is from your blood.
Mm,
So if you got crap in your bloodstream, you got crap going to your brain because you haven't properly detoxed and got it out your system yet. Don't get it twisted. Whatever is in your system, in your digestional tract, in your liver, in your kidneys, in your heart, is going to your brain.
mm,
And it's
mm,
affecting the way you think. So I said, you know what? I got to first detox. I got to get all this crap out of me. I got to get all this crap out of me. So after I detox, after I got it all out, I said, you know what? Now it's time to build it back up. And the fruits, I came across um, a book called Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad.
mm.
And he talks about one meal a day. I was like, oh, you serious? One meal a day? I said, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. But I didn't even notice the fruits that I was eating was was taken away from, well, not really taken away. It was reducing my hunger, my appetite. I didn't really need to eat. And I was thriving because if your digestive system has food in it, it's taking up the majority of your blood to help digest it. Meanwhile, it's taking away from your brain and helping you think and helping you attract things that are good for you. So if you have the best thing you could do for your body is don't walk around with an empty stomach. You don't want to walk around with an empty stomach. You want your stomach, you want your system to be damn near empty all the time. So it can help your organs, your heartbeat, your brain think, your lungs pump. You function
So you
better
say
like
you
that.
do want to walk around with an empty stomach?
You do want to walk around with an empty stomach. And I heard Yaki Awakening say something not too long ago. He said, when people get hunger pains, it don't even mean you hungry. I forgot really how he broke it down, but it means that your system is finished digesting all the food that was in it, and it's like a noise or a sigh of rest. It's like break it down like, so that's actually a good feeling because
Wow.
it's empty and it's done. Leave it
Wow.
alone.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
the system that has programmed us, because it sends us back to the doctor eventually, teaches us that we hungry and we need to put something right back in it.
Right.
And
Because that's how we live.
it's actually counterproductive.
Wow. Ain't
So
that
when I
amazing how
learned
they just
that,
flip flop everything on us?
they flip flop everything, and like he said, man, everything that we was told is a lie. Everything we was told, damn near is a lie. And once you become aware of that, you can make change. Because once you know better,
You do better.
you do better.
Say. That's what they say, right?
Yeah,
And
I got that from Maya Angelou.
I'm a big fan of fruit, so that's my
Right.
thing. I'm a big fan of fruit, and I believe fruit is the most important medicine for me. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because I had like I said, I used to be on blood pressure medicine for years. And
Yep.
hey, here you see, it's like I was on
Yep.
blood pressure medicine for years, and the doctor told me I was gonna never be out. Look, he got the look, that's what I'm saying. Y'all listen and pay attention to this man, right? He got apples on deck, bananas on deck. He
Yep.
like, I'm
Yep.
not playing with him. But
Not
that's the
playing with
way to
him.
be though. Instead of riding around with a bag of chips, right?
Absolutely, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, because I was addicted to chips at one point in time, right? And I couldn't figure out why my pressure was kept going high, sky high, headaches, everything. And the chips that we eating, 70% of the time, not even made from potatoes. They made from all type of chemicals. If you read the back of a chip, if you read the ingredients of a chip, it's about maybe 20 different things. I'm like, well, where's the potato at in this chip? And I had to cut chips out, man, because I found out that chips are one of the most five or it's on the top 10 deadliest foods to eat that's
Ooh,
bad for your heart. And
wow.
black people love chips, and then that's why we, you know, with heart disease and high blood pressure and
For real.
diabetes and kidney
For
failure
real.
and gout
All right,
and
y'all.
the list goes on.
That's why. So he's gonna stay on me. He gonna be asking me every once in a while because I got to get rid of these now. I got to get rid of them. These are like the
Hey
worst,
man,
right? And that's the only thing. So I'm glad we said that. And see, this is why this is called slapping with truth. Because I slap myself with truth on here too, right? I mean, I don't just act like it's everybody else. So I'm letting the world know. Queen A's goal is to stop eating Pringles. I think I told you this when we was on the phone, like
you
before,
did, because I was hooked
right?
on Pringles. I used to eat
And
10,
oh my
12 Pringles
God.
at a time.
I gotta stop them. And I'm like, I'm not eating them no more. But one thing I noticed is it's really a mind thing. Because
Yes,
what I
man.
noticed is I'll go in the store and just because I'm so programmed and used to going down that aisle, I'll grab them. And then when I get them, I don't even want them half the time. I just get them out of habit because I'm so used to getting them.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
just wanted to say that on here because, like, even when I get these, like, it's like I get them and I found it and I feel so bad. Like, why did I get them? Right? It's like, why did I even get these? I didn't even want them. I just got them just because I'm so used to eating them. So,
Right, right.
that's my goal. So I'm sharing that with y'all so y'all can be, if y'all listening, y'all see me, y'all can ask me, y'all run into me like, did you leave them Pringles alone? Right? Hold me accountable, y'all, because hey, like
Yeah,
I said, each one motivates one.
I replace my chips with seeds and nuts.
Mm,
And
And
I
look,
try
that's
to
my
do
goal.
unsalted. Yep.
I got peanuts right here because that's what I'm doing. So I said, if I'm trying, that's what I'm doing. I want to replace them with these, with peanuts.
Right. And I try to get the 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 unsalted, but I do sea salt, and I mainly just do like some cashews, and I do my pumpkin seeds
Okay.
because the pumpkin seeds help get rid of parasites. So whatever I put into my body,
Mhm.
I try to make it um good for something, like some
Right.
type of medicine. You know what I mean? I don't do no frivolous eating no more.
Right. Right. Hey, I'm getting there. Hey, I'm getting there. You hear me? And I'm listening to you. See, your stories inspire me. It's helping even me. So when I tell y'all listen to this man, he got some great knowledge because I'm listening. Right? You know. Hey. So while we on this, explain the RAS because I heard you say something about that. So
The
explain to us what
RAS,
is RAS.
the RAS, the reticular activating system. I'm not sure who I think I got that from Joe Dispenza. He and when he said it, I was like, huh?
Like me.
And I
Mhm.
and I began to look into it, and it made a lot of sense because let me tell you something. Our brains, let me tell you something, man. Our brains are the most magnificent supercomputer that has never been built because they can't build one that will match our brains. Okay? It can
So we
hold so much data. It's irreplaceable. However, if you don't know how to program it,
mm,
trust and believe they do. If you
mm,
don't know who they is, turn on
mm.
your TV. If you turn on the TV, turn the radio on, pick up a magazine, look at a billboard sign, they programming you. If you
Yes.
don't know how to focus, if you don't know how to turn on your RAS, every little thing is going to grab your attention. And like I said
Mm,
before, you're going to drift. You're going to scroll for hours. You're going to do anything that sends you dopamine rush,
mm,
that gives you a dopamine rush. You're going to do anything that feels good. And
right.
so much feels good, from eating to talking to scrolling to listening to crazy music to watching stupid TV shows to talking to people that's no good for you. The list that's bad for you is infinite.
Mm,
So you have to learn how to say, you know what, enough is enough. I have a big picture. First, you have to establish something to focus on.
mm,
And I realized that. But before I wanted to establish something to focus on, I wanted to get in my rarest form. So that way, when I focus on it, I know for one that I came up with this idea when I was at my best, because I know that the best form, the best version of me will attract the best thing for me.
mm.
And because the worst version of me attracted the worst things to me.
Ooh,
The the the,
mm,
the drugs, the crime, the violence, the women, the jail, the prison, the death. It attracted it to me.
right.
But the flip side of that is that the best me is destined to attract the best things for me. And I'm living proof of it right now.
Mm. I love it. I love it. I just want to say, hey, like, if y'all ain't listening to this man on here, like I'm telling y'all, when y'all watch this episode, y'all better like go back and rewind and listen to it and study it because I know I am. I'm gonna tell you how, like, right? Because this man has some knowledge to like he really so when if somebody wants to reach out to you, right? Somebody's
Mhm.
watching this and they like, oh my gosh, I just love what he has to say. how can they reach out to you? And most importantly, how can they get them books you have? Because you have, so how many books do you have out right now? Because he's not just one author, y'all. He has a couple of books out, and explain to them what they are and how they can get them books.
Okay. I have over about maybe 1,000 YouTube videos. I started my YouTube video in a room in a recovery program where I wrote the book. I told you about this book right here. This is my heart and joy right here, by my heart and soul. The Quantum Side of Addiction. It's available on Amazon. I got the YouTube videos. I'm on the Gram at the Quantum Side.
Okay, I was just about to say, like, what's your handle? Okay.
The Quantum Side, all one word. My second book, The Quantum Side Quick Health Guide, is also available on Amazon. It says awareness of what it takes for me to perform at my best should never be an option. In this book, I list over 30 different diseases that come from eating processed food, dairy, sugar, and meat, and how to clean up your diet with natural fruits, herbs, and vegetables. And I sell this on Amazon. This was my second book. And I wrote that because I know everybody might not be ready for the quantum side of things and so forth. But so I wanted to save as many people as I can, because I got tired of our people being number one with all these crazy diseases. And it's really a quick fix. If you change your diet, change your lifestyle, you'll live longer and you'll feel better. My third book, Your Scars Make Stripes, is also available on Amazon. This was the last book I wrote. I just published this last February. The subtitle reads, "In life, daily battles are fought within our environment. Victories aren't always rewarded with tokens, but engraved medals of honor. These are what we call scars." This book right here, because everybody has been through something in his life, right? We all have some type of trauma or some type of event in our past that has put a mark on our personality, our characteristics, our daily activity has transformed our subconscious and put us on autopilot some type of way. This book helps you understand that the road for trauma, the road for depression, the road for anxiety, grief, and misery, and there's a road for happiness, joy, and a good life, living good. These two pathways, right? These two pathways, there's two different pathways, but they both have the same starting point. Some people know how to utilize the experiences that they've been through and make the best of it. Like, for example, you got a set of twins. They've been raised in the same house. They got the same mother and father. But one twin, he just decided to do the crazy stuff in life. He went to jail.
The wild child.
He was the wild child. The other twin, he made the best of life. He went to school. Or even if he didn't go to school, he had enough drive in his mind to get his life together. He said, you know what? I'm not going to be like such and such. I'm not going to be like the people in my neighborhood. I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to be my own person. I want to utilize this crazy upbringing, and I want to make the best of it.
Right.
This book is about how to make the best of the situations that you've been in, because if you don't, how it affects your brain. And I break down each part of the brain that it affects, and I named the certain parts of the brain and how trauma registers and trickles down to our organs and affects the way we think, and how it turns into anxiety and depression and fear and stuff like that, and how to utilize the things that we've been through and the power of positive thinking. Because
Mm,
the law of correspondence says, as above, so below. And I talk about the seven hermetic principles in my book, The Quantum Side of Addiction. And one of the seven hermetic principles is the law of correspondence. It states that as above, so below. So whatever goes on inside my body is pretty much the same thing that's going on outside of my environment. If I got chaos inside my body, if I got chaos outside, how I cultivate my garden, just like a garden that's outside in your backyard. I have to pull up the weeds. I have to trim the hedges. I have to keep the grass cut. I want to, I want to plant the seeds. I got to water it. I got to plant it in good soil. I got to turn the soil every couple months and so forth. This is the same way you have to cultivate the garden of your mind, the garden of your body, the garden of your soul. Because if you don't, if you let the weeds grow, if you let your bad friends get in your mind, if you let the bad music trap you, if you let the bad TV shows or the bad environment in general, if you let it program you, you're gonna turn out just like the other things that you really despise. So a book, Your Scars Make Stripes, is just a power. It just exercise the power of positive thinking, and how, like gold, like when you pull gold out the ground, it's in this rawest form, right?
right, right.
But you can't really pull gold out the ground and put it in the jewelry store, can you? Because they're gonna be like, "What
Right.
is that? I don't clean it up at least." How you want me to buy that gold and it still got dirt on it and it still got specks in it? And in order for you to get the purest form of gold, you have to pass it through the fire, and you pull out all the dross and all the impurities, and when that gold comes out of the fire, it's in its purest form. It's most valuable like that. That's just
Mm,
like our life.
right.
When we go through tragedies and traumas and heartache and depression, and it's important that we take out the most important elements and capitalize on them and make ourselves a better person based off of this. Because if you made it up in your mind that you want to live and you want to thrive, first, when you turn on your RAS, when you turn on your reticular activating system, you have to know that I'm doing this because I want to live and I want to thrive. I just don't want to get by. I,
Right.
you see, I want to thrive. I want to do well. I want to do good. Turn that part on, so that way you can utilize everything that you've been through and grow wiser. Because knowledge doesn't make you wise. Experience makes you wise because you've been through it and you've grown to know that it's a difference between right and wrong. And I know how to utilize the things that I've been through, so I won't go through it again. And I can spread knowledge to people. And I know now when I look at things, I can judge it and say, you know what? No, that's not a way to go, because I know, because I've been there. And that's pretty much what my books are about. I mean, all three of them is about how to be aware of a better you, how to get to the the best version of yourself. Because like I said before, the best you will attract the best things for you.
Mm. Say that again. I mean, just the, I mean, like, I'm just over here like, this man has so much knowledge, y'all. I don't even know where to start with what I was about to say. Like, your man And just the thing. So I'm just gonna ask you this first. And you're not a psychologist or none of that, right? Or are you?
Never went to school for nothing.
I just wanted to make a point here because, right, this man has never went to school. And for all you all listening here that think that, that it's only the people who have PhDs or, the doctors and all them this man has more knowledge and has given you all, if you really paid attention to this episode, more knowledge than you will get from just about any hospital you will ever go to. So I really want to thank you for coming on here and sharing that with the people.
You're welcome.
They need to hear that, and just to hear that it didn't come from a doctor, right? It didn't come from your pharmacist. It didn't come from a psychologist. It didn't come from a counselor, right? This
came from an average Joe.
Thank you, right? And I want to tell you that because so many people get caught up on titles. Let's just put it out there. And just thinking that if, you don't have the DR in front of your name or a PH in front of your name, that, you don't have nothing up here. But a lot of times what I'm learning from even doing this is the people that don't have that, that has so much up here.
Now, I will say this. You do got to play the game, though. You do got to play the game, because I'm learning that, you know what? I have to play the game because, it makes you look better, and it helps make a better living for you, because the way that the system is designed, if you don't have certain letters behind your name, you can't get paid. You know what I mean? Basically. Right. So you gotta play along. You gotta play along, but seek your own knowledge, because the educational system is somebody else's idea of knowledge that they want to train you on, program you on.
Right.
Because everything you learn in school ain't true. Everything you learn in college, is not true. And the most important thing to have in life is drive, resilience, because you're going to get knocked down. You're going to fail. If you have any goals in life, you're going to fail. Failure is the stepping stone to love and abundance. You have to get knocked down. You got to get back up. You got to get knocked down. You got to get back up. But each time you get knocked up, when you get down, now you know how you got knocked down. Right. So you could use it to your benefit, so you won't get knocked down again. And you can spread the word and help other people. Because that's what really life is about. Life is really about providing a service to help people get out of the rut that they already in. Because it's not always about you. You have to, get you out the picture. And you is really all your ego.
Right. Oh man, like yo man, I'm gonna be picking that man. Yeah, I'm just gonna let y'all know I'm gonna have to get Mr. Stokes on here again, because this is like his man. So before we go, what all platforms you're on? So you're on YouTube, and what all platforms can they find you on?
YouTube, my YouTube page is called The Quantum Side of Addiction. Okay. My Instagram is called The Quantum Side. My Facebook page is Joe Stokes. You could always friend me on Facebook. What else is there? Oh, my LinkedIn is The Quantum Side of Addiction. And Joe Stokes on LinkedIn. And did I leave anything out?
Nope. You said Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the Quantum Side with Joe Stokes, guys. So make sure y'all reach out to him. Get them books. All the books are available on Amazon, right?
All the books are available on Amazon. Yep. And I have the ebooks and all that.
All right. So all his books are available on Amazon. And I'm gonna have to get a book. So I'm gonna get which one, the one with the hold on. The second one you showed. The handbook, the workbook or something, where it shows you how to clean yourself after you eat.
The Quantum Side Quick Health Guide.
Yeah, quantum side quick health guy. Yes. So, but yeah, so I just want to just thank you for coming on here, taking the time, because he's a very busy man, y'all. I'm telling y'all, he's always moving and like, look, he's in the car right now. He had to pull over right now
Yeah.
to do this. So, I'm like, he's in the car right now. He had to do that just to
Yeah.
do this. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want to
Because
let
I was like,
y'all
where am
know.
I go? Where am I go? I just pulled over.
Hey, that's why I said like he's always on the go. And so for
Yeah.
him to just take time out of his life on a Friday night in New York, right? You New York, or where are you tonight?
I'm in New
In New
York.
York?
I'm in New York.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So in New York, that means a lot, to me. I just
Thank
want to
you.
say thank
Yep.
you so
You're
much.
welcome.
And before we get off of here, I just want to know, do you have anything that like any last words or anything you would like to like leave the people with before we get off of here?
Absolutely, man. Become aware. Become
Mm,
aware of how to be your best self and realize that, you know what? You may be comfortable right now, and comfort is not where it's at. In order for you to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. That
mm.
means you got to eliminate some things. And in order for you to get to your best self, you need to know, yup, you need to know, you need to know that I got to change and I'm ready and I'm willing to change. So
Mm,
once you become aware, you realize that the best you, the best version of yourself
mm.
will attract the best thing for you. And isn't that what life is all about? Trying to be your best?
That's definitely what it's all about.
That's what it's all
That's
about,
definitely,
man. That's what it's all
hey,
about. That's what it's all
man.
about. Because for real, in your mind, you know some things need to change. You really do need to know some things need to change. But your
Mm,
body has taken control over your mind
mm.
because your body has been programmed and has fell into program mode. Your body's like, all right, it's time for Pringles.
For real,
But your mind
you
is
see, I
like,
was like, hey, I'm trying to tell y'all. That's why this is slapping with truth. So I want to tell y'all,
yeah,
like, when I be trying to give y'all the truth, hey, Queen A gives herself the truth on here too. Like, I don't want y'all to think
yeah,
that I'm all, sugar, peaches and nine, everything peaches and cream. So when people come on here and it concerns me as well, I like to point myself out so y'all can see, oh man, like I point myself out. So next time when I have him on here, he can ask me about the Pringles, right? And be
I'm
like,
definitely
hey,
gonna ask you.
like, right, and I know he is. So that's why I'm like,
I'm gonna
next
tell
time
you,
I'm on
fan.
here.
Hey, listen, Queen. I'm gonna tell you, fan the room. Fan the room. Let me
Hey,
see the room.
hey, right, you hear me? Hey, he was like, let me see the whole desk. I think it's some can of
Right,
Pringles over there.
right,
Because if
right.
they're here, they're going to be in here. So, like, and that's what I love, and that's what this is about, guys. Though this is about each one motivates one. Like, I like to motivate and inspire people. The people that come on here, I want y'all to see that they inspire me to be a better queen. They inspire
That's
me to
right.
do better. Like everything I just heard him say, and I'm sitting over here writing notes and like how easy he just made it. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta leave these Pringles alone. Like, I did not know the biggest thing when he was like, when people die, they still have such a amount of how many pounds of
60 pounds of waste.
60 pounds of waste in them,
Yep,
guys. And so, like
trapped
he
in
says,
them
that means that we're walking around with at least 60 pounds of waste in us on a regular basis.
on a regular basis. My cousin just died because his intestines were so backed up. He had a heart attack, and when they opened him up, his intestines was next to his heart. It was trapped and full of waste. He died.
Wow.
He died because his system was so backed up. Yep. And
Mm.
he had gained so much weight. I was like, yo, what you doing, man? Come on. He was like, I know, man. I know I'm trying. But he couldn't take control over his body. His body wanted the sweets. The things he would do to a chicken bone should have been against the law.
I got some people, I know some people like that, like that, boy, they're tear to eat the whole, but like, ain't the chicken gone? It ain't no more chicken on there, but
His
it's some
plate
people
would
that
look like
really,
splinters. He would
man,
spit
that's what
out
I'm
splinters.
saying.
Yeah.
I know people like that, and I would think, I used to start out like, you see some people eat the gristle, but no, it's people that really eats like the bone of the chicken when they're eating it. I had to like
Right.
know, so
And he had
I
been doing that since we were
definitely,
kids. He would
Wow.
bite the bone and suck the marrow out, and then put the whole book and spit out splinters, and the whole plate be like splinters with bones. And he was doing that all his life, and it it paid off. I mean, because it backed his system up so bad that he couldn't even go to the bathroom. That what I mean. And he, it was just it's a sad story, but if you don't take care of your body, you're gonna have your day, and it's gonna say, you know what, it's too late. It's too late because you were warned. You
Right.
were warned. So don't believe it's never too late.
Right.
Don't believe it's never too late. You need to get busy now because one day it's gonna be too late.
Right. And we don't know when that day is. That's
And
the
we don't
thing.
know when that day is, So exercise, eat good, learn how to meditate, learn how to create a winning environment for your mind, body, and soul. That's the bottom line.
Man, I gotta tell you, just thank you so much. Y'all give it up for Mr. Stokes, and y'all make sure y'all get them books. But like I'm telling y'all, like I'm just amazed. So they on Amazon.Prime. I mean, is it Amazon.com or Amazon Prime? I'm pretty sure you can find it on either one, right?
Either
So
one, yep,
they
yep,
all the same thing.
yep,
And y'all already know what Queen A. Y'all know I don't bring nothing but the best on here to give y'all nothing but the best and some truth. That's why it's called Slapping with Truth, right? We
yep,
slap y'all with the
absolutely.
real truth on here, the truth
That's
that
the
you
truth.
need to hear on here.
Yep,
So
yep.
y'all already know, if don't nobody else love y'all, Queen A does. Later. And